Namaste, my dear friends. A lot of people today are wondering about the question of relationships. I see both in my work as a yoga therapist as well as a counselor and a mentor to many people that people are in very challenging relationships, whether it is their personal life relationship or friendship relationship or even teacher-student relationships. Most people would love to have the concept of a working, functional relationship, but somehow this does not seem to be the way it turns out. And a lot of people ask me the question, what are heart-to-heart relationships? Because they've heard about this in many places, that relationship must be from heart to heart. Now, this is a very important question and it needs some moments to address it. Essentially, heart-to-heart relationships are relationships that are there where the heart of the people involved are really open. This is very important because heart-to-heart relationship is not necessarily emotional relationships. Sometimes we get emotional based on attachments, and this is coming from identities. Like, for example, I have an emotional relationship with my cricket team. I have an emotional relationship with my daughter. I have an emotional relationship with my girlfriend. I have an emotional relationship with my mother. All these are coming because of attachment. A heart-to-heart relationship is not based on attachment, but rather it's based on a connection. It's a connection that can be felt, but not necessarily defined into a box. And this is very precise because it's a relationship that happens without any boundaries, with respect for each other, and without sometimes even words to describe it. Now, these are relationships where you can just feel that you are instantly or intuitively connected to somebody, not because they belong to a particular identity, whether it's an identity of a gender or an identity of a position or an identity of a country or an identity of a job, etc. It just happens spontaneously where many things are communicated because the hearts are open. For example, you take animals. They have a very intuitive connection between each other, not necessarily because they are attached to each other, but because they are openly communicating with each other through their hearts, not through words which are defined structures. Because words can be attached to a certain meaning and not another type of meaning. So that's why heart-to-heart connection is something that is boundaryless, that transcends the domain of space and time. You don't necessarily have to be with this person in the same place, in the same time. I feel this relationship with my father even today, even years after his death. I feel this relationship with my grandmother even many, many years after her death, because I shared a very close relationship with her. So these kind of relationships are relationships where the heart is absolutely open. And when we say the heart, it's not the heart as the organ that pumps blood, but the heart chakra, the anahata chakra, the place where the divine exists. It's challenging today because when the heart is open, there are things that flow in our subconscious structures that are not necessarily in our control. And that's why we will become very vulnerable in these kind of relationships. And vulnerability, many people think today as a weakness. I consider vulnerability as a great strength, because we can just be truly ourselves then and not worry about trying to put on an image of being somebody else. And that's the space for heart-to-heart relationship, where you are having the strength to feel vulnerable and just be yourself. You don't worry about being judged, being put into a box, being defined, and being filled with certain expectations from others. You can just be yourself, no matter where you are, no matter in which time frame you are. You just are existing in that moment of deep connection between two individuals where magic happens. This is very important, my friends, because when your heart is open, you're actually open to yourself. So in the other person, you will actually see a true reflection of yourself. And that is why my father often used to say there should be a heart-to-heart relationship between teacher and student, because then the teacher truly becomes a mirror for the student. The teacher will then mirror exactly what the student is, and the reverse as well. The student will mirror exactly what the teacher is. And that is the beauty of heart-to-heart relationship, where two individuals are able to just be themselves, still connect with each other, irrespective of their diversities, irrespective of their differences. Try it, my friends. Namaste.